guys. I don't think we lasted a run.
Admiral, tell your men to hold their positions. Reinforcements are on the spoke.
The entire fleet is engaged, Cortana. With respect, what the hell sort of reinforcement have you got? It's passing below your position, man. Proximity 0.
What if you miss?
I won't.
Hey, and welcome to AshersHQ, where we aim to bring the sexiest video game review content. The video you're about to see was recorded over at Twitch, so come swing by and join our growing community. And if you like what you see, don't forget to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and leave a detailed comment talking about your favorite Eldritch horror. In our last video, we changed our formula from my first video, and I regret to inform you that I've done so again. A lot of time has been put into figuring out how to really make these reviews as detailed as possible while keeping it fun and unique, and therefore, you may see some slight changes as the video progresses, and hopefully this will be the last change I need to make. So getting right on into it, today we're going to be taking a look at Halo 2, and break it down into our 6 core categories being graphics, gameplay mechanics, story, audio, value, and my own overall impression to build a detailed review and ultimately decide, was it good? So sit back, relax, grab your favorite sex toys, and without further ado, let's review.
They're going to try to take our MAC guns offline. Give their capital ships a straight shot at Earth. Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need you to take a picture with your ass out and your back bent in with your pussy barely peeking through from a low angle with your face in it, and I need a weapon.
Halo 2 was released on November 9th, 2004, just over 3 years after its predecessor. Developed by Bungie and published by Microsoft, Halo 2 brings us back into the Human Covenant War with all sorts of new elements for us to explore through 15 action-packed campaign levels. Getting right into the review, our first look into the graphics left me kind of disappointed. For there being just over a 3-year gap in installments, the hype was there for something much, much bigger and better. The release trailer for Halo 2 looked stunning and captivated gamers everywhere. Turns out, however, that old habits die hard. And just like in today's gaming society, the visuals that we were promised were cut due to hardware limitations, and we were left with this. Don't let that completely discourage any Halo 2 fanatics out there though, as Halo 2 still has very nice aspects to it graphically. Many missions of Halo 2 find you traversing extended city roads of a futuristic Earth and the expansive hive city known as High Charity. 2 of the most notable experiences to me being Act 5, titled Metropolis, where you get your first taste of the Scorpion tank as you storm New Mombasa to reclaim it from the Covenant grasp, and the other notable act being 15, titled High Charity, that finds Master Chief fighting Flood through the Covenant city of, well, you guessed it, High Charity, in pursuit of Prophet Truth near the end of the game. On the other end of the spectrum though, 2 of my least favorite have to be Act 4, titled Outskirts, landing you in the streets of Old Mombasa and having you fight through the Tatooine-looking streets as you're assaulted by Covenant. And my other least favorite being Act 11, titled Quarantine Zone, which finds you back in the flood-infested honeycombed hallways, this time in Installation 5. And if any of you out there have seen my first review, you know that this was, and will always be, one of my least favorite sections to play. Halo 2 shoots to be that ultra-realistic fantasy shooter, and of course, while it doesn't hold up to today's standards, for the time, I'd say the graphics were okay. Character models and environments have come across as very flat and clay-like, almost as if the developers made detailed models and then ran them over with a rolling pin. The lighting and the shadows came off even worse, as this was the main reason that we were robbed of that sleek and detailed-looking release trailer. Take a look at this scene in the trailer, and look at how the lighting actually reflects appropriate shadows over the Master Chief as he walks, even changing the direction of said shadow once the lighting changes from behind to in front of him, which isn't the case in the actual game we got. Luckily for Halo 2, people didn't really seem to care at the time of release, as this game has so much more going for it than the mediocre delivery of graphics and performance. 2004 was a pretty big year for gaming, with other large titles beginning to gain foothold on the industry, like Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Fallout, Fable, and even Grand Theft Auto coming back after Vice City and dropping San Andreas, so it's no doubt why some claim 2004 to be the golden year of gaming. And despite all of these amazing titles, Halo 2 still finds itself in the top ranks of what 2004 had to offer. How, you may be wondering? Well, a large part of that has to do with our next section, gameplay mechanics. It's no doubt by now, with so many Halo titles, that they had to be doing something right, for the most part. One of the biggest reasons Halo 2 took the 2004 gaming market by storm was its action-packed gameplay loop. It's no doubt that Master Chief is a bona fide badass with few words to say and plenty of Covenant to slay, leaving the early games of Halo with less boring blah blah and more exciting shoot shoot. With each mission throwing you into a new zone, generally with 1 or 2 objectives to do, and the sub-objective to annihilate anything attempting to stop you, whether you're playing as the Master Chief or the Arbiter.
Oh yeah, this spot was a bad one too. Pretty much just the whole campaign is bad on. Pretty much just the whole campaign is bad on Legendary difficulty. It's hard.
Being an Xbox original game, the controls and mechanics are very easy to grasp with all the generic features of a realistic shooter you'd expect, like jumping, crouching, shooting, grenade throwing, and of course, no sprinting. A staple Halo mechanic of all early to mid installments. The Arsenal play in Halo 2 feels very good, with much better weapon balancing than Halo CE, making some of the less popular weapons much more viable, like the plasma rifle, the needler, and adding a ton of new viable options in the form of the battle rifle, the SMG, the Covenant carbine, the brute shot, the beam rifle, the sentinel beam, as well as adding a whole new mechanic, the dual wield system, to amplify the use of lesser impactful weapons by doubling up the firepower or using it to mix combos of weapons for unique combat experiences. Unfortunately, other than a really nice reskin of the Magnum, it seems to have been shown no love at all, as it still feels like shooting a tank with a pea shooter.
Okay, it's still ass cheeks. That definitely hasn't changed. It's like really ass cheeks. Holy. Okay.
Another thing to consider here as well is the introduction to using active camo ability while playing as the Arbiter, and the majorly increased access to vehicles throughout the duration of the campaign. With all of the mentioned additions and mechanics, it's no wonder why so many stayed captivated with Halo 2, as it offered up so many different ways to slay your foes while following the same general Halo formula that drew in its fanbase to begin with.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, wait, check this out. And now, in the video, I'm gonna speed that up so it looks like it was really fast. It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so cool. You guys are gonna be like, wow, Asher, you're so cool, watch this, I'll do another one. See? And then in the video, it's gonna look really awesome.
So taking a look at the next section, the story. The first and foremost thing to cover here is the fact that we get to play not one, but 2 perspectives of the campaign. One side from the Master Chief, and the other from the perspective of the Covenant in the form of the Arbiter. This, in my opinion, is a huge win for Halo 2, and possibly the top reason I adore this game so much. Throwing us into a sort of reverse branching story that starts us off with 2 separate journeys eventually bound into one. This makes for a very well-rounded telling of the story, as you don't feel too stretched out following only Master Chief through 15 missions with the same style of gameplay loop, allowing you to really mix up your playstyle from mission to mission. Unfortunately, I feel the same as I did for Master Chief in Halo CE with character development, so I'm not really going to bother reiterating my whole spiel about it, but this subcategory significantly redeems itself with the Arbiter's storyline, starting us off with a tried and true Covenant warrior whose species turns their heads on after a loss that was essentially out of his hands. Marked with the brand of shame, he is then given a chance to redeem himself by taking up the position as the Arbiter, the highest honor to be appointed to the Covenant. He wears this title well as he is met with seemingly impossible tasks, succeeding at every one in the name of the Prophets, eventually being betrayed by Tartarus and the Brutes, and left for dead, where he encounters the Gravemind and Master Chief, where he has his eyes open to the lies of the Prophets, and joins the fight to aid in the struggle to stop the Great Journey. I cut a lot of flavor out of that synopsis to keep it concise, but as you can see, as far as a Halo character goes, this is by far the most in-depth and frankly coolest development we've seen to date. It makes me wonder how it will hold up with the future installments of Halo that I'll review going forward. As for the writing in Halo 2, it's extremely well done. Some of my favorites are the cutscenes showing off the society of the Covenant and the introduction of the Brutes in High Charity. Seeing how their hierarchy works and how the Brutes intend to betray the Sangheili carries a lot of weight and gives that needed push for the Arbiter to switch up teams. The dialogue is well written, and as far as I remember reviewing the game footage, nothing came across as poorly done. All of this together makes for a very immersive world-building experience, full of detail and lore to uncover from the humans, Covenant, Brute, and even the Flood side of the story. Halo's 2 campaign ends on an open-ended cliffhanger telling us that this fight is long from over. And long from over it is, as to this day we still have Halo releases going strong.
Hold on, Chief. Are you sure you want me to activate the prostate pleasurer in your Mjolnir armor? You are mid-firefight.
His Mjolnir. Cortana, activate prostate pleasurer. And I need a weapon.
Moving to the next category, audio. My first interpretations are pretty good, leaving me impressed with the dialogue, weapon, and vehicle sounds, as well as other MISC sound effects that others may not pay much attention to, like doors opening and closing or even footsteps. Everything seems much more polished and immersive compared to Halo CE, providing me with a very enhanced experience. The voice acting was extremely well done, with clear and consistent voice lines throughout the entirety of the game. Everything on a technical level seemed great, with no noticeable distortion throughout a wide variety of fantasy-level sound effects that really drag you into the immersion of a high-intensity alien combat encounter. Do keep in mind that this may be due to the fact that I'm playing the Master Chief Edition, so many small bugs and inconveniences like dialogue or graphical issues may have been resolved. So if you're one of those people who had an issue with the original release's buggy pop-ins while playing on the OG Xbox, I'm sorry, but you won't receive any justice here from me or my gaming PC. Before capping off this section, it wouldn't be an audio review without me spending far too much time listening to the soundtrack on repeat. While writing up this script, I made it through just over 3 full cycles of the Halo 2 soundtrack's 1 hour and 9 minute runtime, bolstering 21 tracks and ranging from 1 minute and 17 seconds to a whopping 9 minutes and 7 seconds in length. This album was produced by the legendary musician and songwriter Nile Rodgers, who you may have heard in the works of a few movie soundtracks from the early 2000s era, Rush Hour 2, Semi-Pro, Snow Dogs, and more. This album is a pure bop and a true pleasure to listen to, being absolutely breathtaking from start to finish with absolute bangers and extremely immersive ambient tracks that don't leave me wanting more because it's already everything it needs to be. The album even features one of many of my favorite Breaking Benjamin songs, Blow Me Away, which makes for an epic action/combat scene later in the game. Excluding the obvious Breaking Benjamin song, some of my favorites on this album include the Halo theme Mjolnir mix, Heretic/Hero, and all 4 of the Movement of the Odyssey tracks. While at the bottom of my list, disrespectfully, sits the very clustered and busy Never Surrender. Trust me, just go listen to it. You'll see what I mean.
Am I even doing damage to it with the needlers? I don't even know if this is doing anything. Can I even kill this thing? Oh! Okay.
Taking a look at the 5th category here, and a new addition to my review formula, value. This category used to be held by replay value, which continuously came up a short section within my reviews. I wanted to make every section more balanced instead of 1 or 2 categories making up 70% or more of the review. So in doing so, I moved the replay value within this category among other subcategories in an effort to give it more substance. So diving right in, Upon release, Halo 2 sold at a full retail price of $49.99, a common price tag for big-name video games for the time. With an average of about 10 hours of gameplay, if I'm being a little bit generous, I would say that with the experience the game provides, and the length it provides, it definitely is worth the price tag alone. While the quality does fall significantly short of the original project we were promised, the product we were delivered still bolstered an amazing experience to millions of gamers worldwide. Not to mention, Halo 2 introduced its first taste of Halo Online multiplayer play, giving gamers an action-packed way to keep the fun going post-campaign, as there isn't too much replay value in the main story aside from just wanting to experience it for a second or third time. Unfortunately, the Halo 2 multiplayer servers were shut down in 2013, but we're not going to pay attention to that. All in all, for 2004, I would definitely say yes, it's good value for the money. But what about for today's standards? Well, for the exact same price tag, you can buy the Master Chief Collection, giving you access to all the classic Halos up to Halo 4, with the old titles receiving complete graphical overhauls and the option to switch between new and old styles. All of that for the same price? I'm sure you can guess what I'm gonna say. Absolutely, it's worth the value.
I am 2401 Penitent Tangent. I am the monitor of Installation 05.
And I am the Prophet of Regret, Counselor Most High.
I bet he gives mad quack quack hack slack gik slow whack.
Much to do. This facility must be activated to control this outbreak.
That's fucking filthy. That's filthy.
And bringing us to our last core category of the review, my own overall impression. I absolutely love this game. Easily up there as one of my favorites in the entire franchise. I think only really beaten by Reach and possibly Halo 4. Every time I play through this game, so many nostalgic scenes I remember from when I was young come rushing over me. From some of the scenes in High Charity to driving the Scorpion tank over the bridge to storm New Mombasa, it will always hold a very special place in my library for all of my favorite impactful gaming experiences. Wrapping up the review, as always, do keep in mind that this section is purely based on my own experiences with the game, which can be influenced by many factors locked to only me that maybe you didn't experience. Feel free to replace any score that you would change in this review with your own, and make sure to throw your totals down in the comments for me to see. And if you 100% agree with this review, then leave a comment saying, if you see a flying spaghetti monster, tell it I say hi, to confuse people who haven't seen the whole video. Now let's take a look at our numbers for this review. I decided to leave Halo 2 with a 3 out of 5 on the graphics, for a number of reasons, namely the major letdown from the trailers that left us with a very mediocre visual experience, while I gracefully left the gameplay mechanics, story, audio, value, and my own overall impression with a 5 out of 5 across the board for its innovative gameplay, amazing storyline, immersive sounds, and voice acting, uncomparable value, and a fucking fantastic time to play through. All of these numbers crunched together leave us with a 28 out of 30, which makes for a staggering 93.3 on the review chart. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you enjoyed it, please consider showing your support by leaving a like and subscribing to stay up to date with any future videos. And be sure to leave any feedback either in the comment section, community Discord, or any socials linked on the channel. But for now, that's all I've got for you. So be sure to tune in next time when we find out if we can break the loop in the hit 2021 game Deathloop on AshersHQ HQ. And roll credits. Bada bing.